Yo, what's goody, everyone? Where the boys are back. Had to take a little hiatus for a little bit, recharge for a little bit, so we can enjoy all this greatness, all this greatness coming out of March Madness. Well, of course, we have to come back and talk about this tournament. A lot of crazy stuff, but as usual, March Madness just not disappoint, fellas. If y'all been tuning in, we had a few ranked corners lately, just to try to keep supplying the content. We know we couldn't let y'all leave y'all cold turkey and everything. We had a few rank corners, and our boy, our resident Dr. D, Dr. Esquire Day, alumnus of the University of Connecticut. He had to talk his shit a little bit in the latest rank corner he just dropped today. I'm talking about 7 a.m. already loaded up on the internet. He was not playing games.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. I'm gonna tell y'all like my GTHB brother told me. In the beginning there was Duke, and on Sunday there was elimination.
Hey man, I think I can speak for the rest of the pod, man. It's good to see the devil vanquish on a Sunday. I tell you that. That's why we go to church for. But man, we appreciate y'all holding it down, man. Shout out to the people that have been participating in our bracket challenge, our first bracket challenge for the podcast. Look, man, I'll talk a little noise, but I tried. Man. I tried. But it's looking a little bleak for a boy. I ain't gonna lie, I'm pretty much out the race at this point. Our boy Dave, he has a winning shot for the grand prize, man, but he got some work to do. I think it's honestly depending on your UConn boys, ain't it?
Yeah, honestly, if they win the Natty, then I win the prize. But if not, it's gonna be going to somebody else.
And I know who it is, and I'm not trying to hear this person talk that noise. But look, man, of course, coming back, we talking about straight March Madness, man. We had the conference tournaments leading into the NCAA tournament. And I don't know about y'all, but this actually been a pretty good tournament this year. A lot of crazy moments in every round, man. They definitely lived up to the hype. Key players had their moments. There was cooking. We saw draft prospects make their claims on why they needed to be drafted where they should be. But, I mean, what's y'all take, fella? What was like a moment before we start getting to the Final Four in position? What was like a memorable moment for you in this tournament?
Yesterday.
Say pretty much.
That's what I need you to see, bro. My hate watch was complete yesterday. Once them boys got eliminated, the way they got eliminated, I was good. I don't gotta watch no more games, to be honest with you. The team I wanted to lose lost. The hate watch is complete. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm gonna watch it, you feel me? But like, I don't really. Y'all need them niggas to lose. So
Like you're not watching with animosity like that anymore. Like you can actually watch as a true fan. Like you don't got no agendas attached to it.
I mean, not really. No disrespect to Dave, but I don't want y'all team to win because y'all gonna overtake UNC for natties. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So I need y'all to lose. I'm not gonna fight.
No, but UNC has 7 national championships.
No, we got 6. Y'all got 6.
Oh dang.
Yeah,
6
so
NCAA titles.
Yeah, I'm really going for Illinois, to be honest with you. I need to win
hey, yo, BT. Hey, Pizza, I called a homie Trav up yesterday, right?
Word.
He was like, yeah, I low-key need Illinois to lose, man. They over there playing that USSR hoops over there, man.
I'm low-key going for them. You know what I'm saying?
He said they said they're the Serbia college hoops over there, man.
They do got hella foreigners though.
Yeah, they do. Them boys hooping though.
Yeah, shout out to Stojakovic. Shout out to Stojakovic.
Yeah. But that's fair, BT. Hey man, I respect it, man. I respect it. I understand.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't really know hate watching me no more. That shit done. So I'm good, man.
I guess other than yesterday, the Kentucky Santa Clara ending.
Oh yeah.
Was probably the one that stands out. And the Iowa game winning shot over Florida.
Yeah, hey, so, Florida, like obviously there's a lot of meltdowns that transpire in this tournament. Of course, Duke, y'all taking the top spot as of right now. Shoot, y'all the kings at this point. After the last few games y'all lost the way y'all lost, but the way Florida lost to Iowa, I was like, I really can't fathom this shit. And then just for Nebraska to follow that bitch ass shit up the next round and shit, I was like, this
Oh
shit,
no!
yes, son, yes, son.
No.
I'm like. Fred Hoiberg malfunctioned, dog. He malfunctioned.
Hey.
He malfunctioned.
That's nuts, bro. Like I didn't even realize that until the next day, because because I was at a restaurant when I saw it, and
Yeah,
I saw like at first I thought like some dude from Iowa yammed on somebody, and because he started like flexing the crowd. I was like,
yeah.
bro, he just yammed on somebody, and I saw the replay like just like an and one play whatever, but yeah that was memorable too. Like I was out in Kansas City when that happened, and they weren't even showing the Texas Purdue joint that was happening at the same time. All the screens was on Iowa and Nebraska, and I was like,
That's crazy.
I know I'm in the Midwest. I'm in the Midwest now, yeah, because that's the only game they cared about.
For me, the crazy game, and this happened in the first round, was that High Point Wisconsin game. That shit was funny. Cause a Nebraska challenge, I was one of the few people that picked that game. And I promise you, the only reason why I picked that game because I was just hate watching Wisconsin, dog. But what was crazy to me, the dude on a team that only hit threes the whole season, he won the game off a layup, off a cherry pick layup. I was like, that's so funny too, because Bama was just like, hey, if you're bearing that pressure, those breakaway layups be the hardest ones, bro, because you by yourself, you gonna overthink that shit. But he just filleted that joint so easily. I was like, hey, yo, why did you add this to your game? So you probably be averaging more points. But he was going crazy in the second half, man.
I don't know how that could be his only 2-pointer the whole season.
They just let him shoot threes.
That's his only one, bro. Like that is nuts. But okay, like from that upset, the High Point coach talking his talk, it was like another memorable moment because I thought it was just funny. Like, hey, look, man, nobody wanted to play us. Nobody wanted to play us, bro. Nobody, but now you got to play us. Hey, son. I love it when coaches like that talk. They talk, man. I do like that.
Yeah.
Nah, in the High Point, bro. Hold on, let me say this real quick. That point guard they got, son, that nigga dumb nice, bro. I hope he get a shot somewhere, bro. That nigga nice as hell.
Yeah, he going.
He definitely going into the portal for sure.
He a senior, bro.
Oh, he gone. Okay.
Yeah, he a senior, dog. So hopefully he get a
shit. I mean, like like BT, what senior are we talking about? Like 2-year senior, or he like maxed out? Okay, he can't do he can't do my man for Ole Miss. He can't get the court appeal.
Nah, bro.
He can't do graduate transfer.
Nah.
What's my man with the whole family at USC and Auburn and shit? He can't do what he did, bro.
I wish he could, but nah, that's over, bro.
Hell no. Nah.
He was giving A-Cup some problems, boy.
Yeah, he was though.
Yeah,
he was giving that boy some problems.
He was though. Yo, T, you have any moments that memorable moments from this tournament?
I mean, y'all pretty much covered everything. I guess for me, I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch most of the Duke game yesterday. I was at the Hornets Celtics game, but seeing the score up, seeing Duke up big, and then as the game went on, it got tighter, and then I did catch the end of the game and everybody's reaction when Duke turned the ball over, and then Mullins hit that three. The whole Spectrum Center just erupted because I would say like 80% of the fans in there just erupted, bro. Like everybody was just going crazy for like 10 seconds, and then like you could see like Kemba Walker like chuckle on the sideline when he saw the score on the big screen.
The game within the game. Hey, yo, that's crazy.
That part, yeah, he do, man.
So I guess for me, that stood out. Like I said, y'all pretty much covered all the other ones. High Point definitely was a memorable moment. Um, the Iowa game, of course, and then like the thing about the Iowa and Florida game was the coaches were jawing at each other the
Yeah,
whole game. Golden and the old boy from Iowa were going back and forth the whole game. So that was funny because Todd Golden, he talks a lot of trash. He be
Yeah.
popping his shit, and rightfully so. They're defending champs or whatever. But sometimes when you pop off, bro, and it comes back full circle on you, bro. So you know,
Yeah, Walter Clay could save him this time.
no, but that was really on Florida. That was a lazy ass effort on that press, and I'm like, I don't
Run
know
play
how.
flooded too, bro.
man, I just stop ball real quick, bro. There were so many
Yeah,
things that went wrong with that, bro. First off, you cannot trail like that and get so far behind that you're putting the rest of your defense at
hmm
risk. Then, like Katie said in the chat, dude overhelped and gave up the corner three. A two doesn't beat you, a three does.
yep,
And when you're going full speed like that, and there was somebody there at the rim, so he would have to make a contested layup. It's not gonna be an easy layup.
yep,
Somebody would have came over and rotated and made that layup a little bit difficult, especially full speed, all your momentum's going forward. That's not an easy layup. But a corner three beats you. So everything went wrong there. You can't get behind. Boogie Fland, you cannot get beat that badly in trail. You've got
yep.
to get in front of him and make him change direction. He had an easy path to get to where he wanted to go. It made a simple pass to the corner three. It was right there. So there were so many things that went wrong. And then we can talk about what went wrong for Duke, which I don't care what went wrong. Happy went wrong, but Cameron Boozer, bro, like you catch, you turn, you face, you don't waste your dribble, and you never jump to make a pass. There's so many things fundamentally wrong with that play. Also, there's a huge coaching error on that play too. If we're gonna keep it a beam, Isaiah Evans is your best free throw shooter. So why are you sending him all the way down the other side of the court? He should be going near the
Yep,
ball. Dame
yep.
Sarr, UConn could have fouled Dame Sarr. He's not a good free throw shooter. I think he's a 6% free throw shooter.
That's what I
Isaiah
thought I was
Evans
going to
and
do.
not Dame Sarr in that position from a strategic standpoint, a coaching standpoint. You want your best free throw shooters in the backcourt, and you want to send your worst free throw shooters down because UConn was trying to force a steal and were foul. So you would want your better free throw shooters in that position. So I just didn't understand why you would send Isaiah Evans deep and not Sarr or whoever else is in the game.
Mm.
Sending
But
Dumbo, the center, down there, but
but
you can't have your best free throw shooter all the way to the other end of the court.
yeah, T. Let me ask you from a basketball standpoint because as Duke was going through the season and they had a good season, they was going to win. The one thing that kind of stand out to me was I understand Boozer, he was kind of like a point guard, but this team really didn't have like that veteran true point guard. And at times you saw how that was like kind of hurting them through the tournament because they was pretty much in every like they wasn't like Michigan or even UConn or some of these other like number one seeds where they kind of at least cakewalk a couple of these games or at least the first two rounds. It was in pretty much a dogfight every game. Do you think not having that veteran traditional point guard really just came to bite them when it mattered in this tournament?
I almost felt like this is my opinion. I felt like Duke's guards were their backcourt was their Achilles heel this year. They weren't very dynamic. You could beat them off the dribble. That's why Duke had to play a lot of zone because they were getting beat off the dribble a lot, off the bounce.
Okay.
Taylor Foster is solid, but he's not, dynamic. He's not elite, in my opinion. And Boozer's kind of the same thing. Solid, but not anything to really like you have to really game plan for or really worry about. Like I said, he's a good soft player. You're more worried about the other Boozer and Isaiah Evans, really.
Yeah.
So I always felt like their backcourt was going to be their Achilles heel. And, in order to win in March, you have to have good guard play. And their guard play wasn't enough. Taylor Foster had a good second half for St. John's. They barely escaped St. John's.
Yeah.
They were lucky Sienna ran out of gas, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And had a fortunate whistle, but I always felt like the whole season, like their guard play was their Achilles heel. And to me, they had a couple guys that could make some threes, but they weren't a great 3-point shooting team, in my opinion. Like they were kind of a streaky team when it
It
comes
was
to that aspect of it.
Isaiah Evans dependent on him with the
Yeah.
with okay.
So No, I was going to say like it's very, 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 very hard to win in March when you have to either go through your big man. You don't have that guard to kind of keep things in shape. That's why we saw Duke blow so many leads when they did lose this year. They blew double-digit leads. They don't have that steady presence on the court. And then John Shire made a few tactical errors that we just went over as well. So
But back to that play though, I don't think he made the wrong decision. The execution was bad because you kind of
yeah,
had all 5 players in the backcourt. But when he jumped in the air to try to throw that joint, that's where he messed up. You can't leave your feet. You know what I'm saying? If he just threw the
yep.
ball higher, like he would have been straight.
Mhm.
So I don't think he made the
Yeah.
wrong play. The execution was just off for me.
No facts. Like honestly, if he didn't waste that dribble, he would and just threw the pass. Like if he had just saw it and threw the pass without wasting the dribble, I don't think those defenders would have enough time to react and
Right.
make a play on the ball like they did as well. And like you said, it was the right idea, but like you said, it was poor execution. The dribble hurt him, and then also jumping in the air to make a pass hurt him as well. So
He could have, Caden Boozer could have held on to the ball too.
yeah,
And
that's what you're supposed to do.
At worst case, it's a jump ball, and I don't know whose possession it would have been. Even if it's UConn, you have a chance to set up, your defense. Even like with that limited amount of times. I was surprised. I was definitely surprised by it, but that all that shit just happened like so quickly. Like it's when the ball went in the air, and I was telling Dre this like before we before we started the episode. The ball went up. I was just like, yo, grab that shit. And then like when Alex Caravan got the ball, I was like, yo, do something with it. But it made sense. He had Cam Booster on him. I was like, do something, bro. Like because in my mind, I'm like, we got the ball. We gotta get a shot up. Bro. Like I don't want it to end up like, like Houston in the national championship last year. They don't get a shot. Up. I just, it's just gonna be so regretful if you don't get a shot up in that situation after, getting the turnover. And then when he passed it back to Braylon Mullins and then it went up, like you could have played Father Stretch My Hands when that ball. Like I was just like everything was just happening so fast again. I was just like, is that shit gonna go in? That was one of the loudest swishes I've ever heard. It was a rainbow. It was a rainbow, bro.
Like
I told Dave the same thing. I was like, when he shot that bitch, I was like, oh, this shit about to be cash.
But, and I hate to say this because I know how Duke fans feel, but fuck them niggas though. But it reminded me of that daggone Chris Jenkins shot, bro. When he shot that shit, I knew it was cash, bro. Because you can just see how the ball was just floating in the
like
air.
Like an arc, yeah. Like it's like, yeah.
So yeah, when he shot that shit, I was like, oh, that shit got to be cash, bro. And he shot it with so much confidence.
Yeah.
Because now, like going back to the first half, it was like, bro, like we couldn't do anything. Like we couldn't do anything. Just let alone not hitting any threes. Because like, okay, I mentioned that we went 1 for 18. If we had hit like out of that first 18, if we had hit at least like four or five of them joint, like we would have a whole different game. Like it would have just been more nip and tuck. Our whole offense in the first half was Terrence Reed. And bro, like Terrence Reed almost picked up 3 fouls in the first half.
Yeah, he did.
And, bro, like, and I'm like, bro, like we can't do anything. Like nobody can hit shots. And the thing about UConn is that, we as a team, we shoot 34.5% from 3. And that's ranked like 101st in Division I. And the thing, like, you would not think that because a guy that Braylon Mullins is like one of the best shooters, in this freshman class that's come out. And then we got Solo Ball is a good shooter. Alex Caravan's a good shooter. We have three good shooters that we can rely on.
Shit, them other niggas bringing the percentage down. Seem like they building a house. They bought the builders over there, Dave.
Hey, that's how it is. But honestly, the past month, I would say the last week of the regular season, maybe into the conference tournament, and even at times during the NCAA tournament, we've had at least 2 of those 3 guys struggle every game. Like one game, Braylon will be hot, and the other 2 guys are struggling. One game, Alex will be hitting shots, everybody else is struggling. Solo Ball maybe getting stuff going, and then the other 2 guys aren't able to hit a thing. All 3 of them dudes weren't able to hit shit like yesterday. before the last 5 minutes. Credit to our starting point guard, Silas Damari Jr. He'd been playing injured, this whole tournament. He got hurt against St. John's in the Big East Championship.
Yeah.
He's been on a minutes restriction, this tournament. He actually hit 2 big threes to get us back, to help us, stay within 7, within 5. But when we cut that shit down to 2, I was like, okay, this is, forget anything that happened. Anything that happened before this shit, it's a game now. It's a game now.
Yeah.
But I thought that, when we started missing free throws, I was like, all right, this might be the death of us here. But Alex Caravan hit a shot to cut it down to 1, and I was like, all right, okay. And yeah, the rest was history. So that was just one of the craziest games ever.
Hey, Dave, speaking of history, man, as we know, Darren Hurley has a history with the refs, man. It looked like after that shot, he took that shit personally.
Nah, bro. That shot could have happened, and we could have fucked it all up, bro. Because Darren Hurley almost fucking headbutted the ref, bro. He almost headbutted the ref, bro. This is the thing about him, man. This is the thing about him. Like, he's the crash out coach, and there's quite a few of them in the landscape.
I was like, he was about to fuck it up for y'all, bro.
Dog is like, I think niggas ran off the bench. That's a technical foul.
Yeah.
and
Hey, hold on real quick, bro. Hey, fuck the Duke and that's the technical foul. That's typical Duke for, but he no type of concept at the moment where he ran onto the court, should be a typical whiny bitch ass Duke.
I ain't trying to hear that shit. Y'all gave up a 19-point lead.
It's always.
First of all, there were a couple calls that went Duke's way that should have been.
As I always do.
That should have been one. I think I forgot who it was. I think it was either Braylon or somebody. They set a charge. They it ended up being a blocking foul, but it was clearly a charge. But yeah, and, bro, Dan Hurley almost headbutted a ref, bro. And thank God the refs were mature.
No,
that
ref helped y'all beat Duke because he had enough restraint to not. And I feel like if that was like a Big East ref, the ones that's used to Dan, he would have been tossed. Cause ain't no way you just gonna come in my face like you shot the 3 over me, cause he thought he was playing pickup with the refs. So I was like, damn, so wild boy.
He was everybody was celebrating, then he got serious, and then he just started staring down his ref. I'm like, bro, what the hell? I'm like, what the hell, bro? He's a crazy motherfucker, but I love that dude, man. I love that dude. Crazy ass motherfucker.
Well, I know this is going to be hard to bring up, but since we still talking about memorable moments, one did happen in the first round that we didn't mention, and that's North Carolina versus VCU, which the results of that game led to the firing of Hubert Davis. So, game was crazy. I had UNC in the bracket, and I guess, because I know y'all big UNC fans, what's your thoughts on the whole situation? Like, how y'all feeling about the whole process and what's going on in Chapel Hill?
All right, so I'll go and start off real quick. All right, so with UNC, bro, we all know UNC basketball, it has high standards, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Very high standards. Hubert's first year, even though the team, they lucked into, that championship game because we got hot at the right time. That team wasn't, a good team, bro. It really wasn't. They just got hot and they clicked. And when it clicked. So, even going back to Roy last couple of years, but, the standard hasn't been met, yo. They're supposed to be competing for, Final Fours and Natties, you know what I'm saying? Every year, that's the standard that you want to see. So, Hubert, man, person, you know what I'm saying? But nice people don't win basketball games. And with this fans, the fandom that UNC has, if you're not winning, they're not gonna embrace you anymore. They not gonna embrace you at all, son. So Hubert had to win, and losing double-digit games in 3 of his 5 seasons. That's not the UNC standard, bro. Getting beat in the first round back-to-back year. It's not the UNC standard, so he didn't reach that standard at all.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he's just hella stubborn, bro, like he doesn't like to change. And a lot of the media people didn't like his interview style. So that's not gonna help you out either.
Yeah.
So he just had everything going against him. Like the boosters didn't want to like fund the roster for next season. So they kind of like put the AD in a precarious situation. Like, what you gonna do? You gonna have a roster of like $2 million? That's not gonna get you nothing in this NIL era.
Nah.
So, and I think they went to Hubert saying like, what you gonna do? How you gonna change it? And he didn't really want to change the coaching style. He didn't really want to change his ways of coaching. So they kind of tied the AD hands behind his back and like, you got to make a decision. So they had to fire Hubert. And I will say this: no matter who the coach is, I don't care who it is, bro. Hubert first season, he went to the Natty. He beat Duke twice. So for me, your first season at UNC, I don't care what your roster is. I don't care who the coach is. I don't care who your coaching staff is, bro. You better beat Duke twice, and you better get to the Natty. That's my expectations. Because Hubert did that in his first season.
I'm glad you brought that up, BT, because I think part of the problem with Hubert Davis, like you said, he had that run his first year, and if I remember correctly, y'all was like an 8 seed when y'all made that run, correct? Like an 8 seed. So the tournament saw y'all as, of course they're Cinderellas and everything, but when y'all say that as an 8 seed, normally people don't think you're gonna win the champion. You're not really a contender. So he played above, I guess you could say, his pay grade. Yeah. And then along with, he ruined Coach K's last game at home, and he ruined Coach K's last game, period. So again, the expectation, because he's one of the few coaches that started with the number one preseason number 1 seed, and y'all didn't even make the tournament that year. And we can do a whole separate episode about what happened that year, but we ain't gonna take up y'all time tonight with that. So
I'll just say something real quick, bro. I knew right then and there he wasn't the man for the job, bro. Because if you're a real leader of men, you nip that shit in the bud. But see, this is my problem with Hubert, bro. He's a nice guy, but he's corny. He can't keep it real with you. I would have told them too, look, there's plenty of other hoes out here, bro. We all be fighting ruin our season for one bitch, bro. That's literally what needed to be said, bro. That's literally what needed to be said, bro. And then what I didn't like is they made them and Hubert, instead of nipping the shit in the bud, they made Caleb Love out to be the scapegoat. Treated Caleb Love like shit on his way out. And that resonates with players and recruits. Players pay attention to that shit, bro. They really do, bro. That was a problem. That was not a good look on Hubert. Like BT said, I've been in the media room with Hubert, and I know what a lot of the media people that follow Carolina didn't like Hubert. They called him a choir boy. They called him corny. These are some of the corniest motherfuckers you ever meet.
Damn.
A bunch of fat, lazy white men calling you corny.
That's not a good thing to have, bro. That's what I said, man. Like, you had all that going against you. So, nigga, you had to win. And you black, my nigga. And you black. You might not act black, but your skin tone is black, boy. Like, you had all that going against you, man.
But my thing with Hubert, he was really a hot and cold coach. Like, there was no, like, middle ground with this nigga. It's like he would have a hot stretch and then one of the worst stretches you can think of a coach. You feel me? So I think maybe that's why it changed. And it's up because he didn't have Caleb Wilson going to this tournament. But the writing was on the wall if it took a game like this to get him out of there. So,
but yeah, I'll give you a prime example. Remember that? What was that documentary on Netflix? It was the football one where the coach told his star quarterback to leave that girl alone and break up with her.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
like you have to have the pulse of the locker room and the team, and Hubert didn't resonate well with boosters. I know some people who know some people, the boosters. He never really wanted. He wasn't a guy that could motivate the boosters to spend that bread. Basically, is what it comes down to. And like you said, a lot of the boosters are already kind of off Hubert. and didn't want to fund the team next year. Came back because people were souring on Hubert, especially with the way the season ended. And honestly, I knew the heat was on when they had that West Coast trip to Cal, and they lost to both Cal and Stanford. That he was going to have to turn it
Yeah,
around. There was a lot of heat coming off of that, right? But then, he
you
kind of
said that.
quieted the flames a little bit. Beating Duke, kind of fanned the flames for a little bit, but then, you know, the end of the
And he
season
beat
was
Kansas
bad.
this year
Yeah, he beat Kansas, beat
And Kentucky.
Duke,
and Kentucky.
and Kentucky. Like you said, there was no consistency though. Like you said, the highs were very high,
But the
um,
lows, man.
the lows were low. He was stubborn with his rotations, man. Like we lost to Bama, bro. We were in control of that game, bro. We had no business losing that game. We were in control most of
Mhm.
the game, bro. And the end of that game was just horrible. First off, oh boy, shouldn't even attempted that shot. Shouldn't be on the floor in the first place. Like at that point, you got robbed with your two best players that got you there. But it's just like, and Hubert, like I felt like I was kind of I'm like kind of mixed about it because I was like, part of me was like, he might not be the guy, but also the circumstances not having Caleb Wilson this year and just like you said, his high. Some of the highs were high, but the lows were
Mhm.
low. Like you can't come in preseason number one and not make the tournament, and then
Yeah.
you barely made the tournament last year. If it wasn't for Carolina's AD being on the selection committee, I don't think they'd make the tournament last year. So it's just like, okay, you sent K packing, and you got to the national championship game, but then you missed the tournament the next year, and then you had a bad loss. Well, not a bad loss, a bad second half in the Sweet 16 was Bama, when a game that we were in control at halftime, and then also the whole situation. Look what Elliot Cadeau's doing, bro, at Michigan now.
Final Four.
And some of the narratives coming out about Cadeau and he was a liability, this and that. Now look what he's doing at Michigan now. And whether that's true or not, you have as the coach, you have to control the narratives.
Yeah, the optics, man.
That's the optics and narratives. You have to control, especially as a college coach. You have more influence in the college game than you do the pro game as a
Mhm.
coach. So part of your
Yeah.
job is
Yeah.
really controlling the narratives, controlling the locker room.
AT question. This is Hubert. This was like his first coaching job, right?
Yeah, his first head
Like
coaching job.
First head coach.
first coaching. Yeah, because you know, because I think he has a good X and O mind, right? I just think he crumbled under the pressure in a lot of moments as his tenure as the head coach of UNC. And I think some of it has to do because of the brand of North Carolina. Like there's certain games that you have to win. There's a certain standard you have to do. But like you said, his stubbornness, he had to do it his way. He didn't want to learn how to adapt. He couldn't relate to the kids, for sure. So you think those are like things that if he wants to coach a job elsewhere to rebuild himself, he has to work on those things?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, like you said, he did run. He ran some pretty good actions. Like
Yeah.
it's just that he has to understand roster construction.
Mm-hmm.
The team we had this year was flawed. Like I said about Duke and their guards, Carolina's guards wasn't that dynamic at times, and Kai and Evans did not work out. That's another thing. Like he was very hit or miss in the portal. Like Brady Matt was a hit, and Cormac Ryan
Yeah.
was a hit, but then some of the other guys he brought in weren't hits at all. So you can't
Mm-hmm.
afford when you're not recruiting at the high school level that some
Like he
Carolina
used to.
fans want to recruit at. Yeah, like love that some Carolina fans want. You have to hit in the portal. When you're missing the portal, it's even more damning than missing on a high school recruit because you're going out and bringing somebody in that wasn't on the team, that's not a recruit coming in, and then you also might rub some of the other guys that's currently on your roster the wrong way, right? There's some guys that
Ian
transfer like, yeah,
Jackson.
Hey, but Ian ain't do shit in this Duke though. So
Nah.
this season you had Tyler Nickel, he hoop, Jalen Washington hoop for Vanderbilt.
yeah.
Of course, Elliott who was hooping. Who else? I think that's it for right now. I think that transfer.
But we know it's more player because I remember it was like that one class, like damn near almost everybody but one left that joint for real. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
The only one that
yeah,
was up.
yeah. So before we move on, like, 'cause I know there've been rumblings. Because it has to be an acceptable coach to step in to be the new head coach of UNC. Who you think should take that mantle to be the next head coach? Especially you want to talk about, because I know y'all still got that. Mingo hasn't left yet, right? Y'all still got Mingo, and so like, who's that coach that's going to turn the program around, keep these recruits, and push y'all forward?
I mean, it's only down to two people. That from what I've been seeing. It could be some more, but they only gotten out two names, and that's Dolliman and Lloyd. I mean, the more Arizona win, the less I'm confident about Lloyd getting that job. You know what I'm saying? If they win the Natty, I just can't see him leaving.
I mean, I don't think he's leaving regardless.
So, yeah, I just can't see him leaving. But that's just my. I'm not trying to be a pessimistic, but that's just my thinking.
I know, I understand. It's unfortunate Corey couldn't be here to be the other side of the coin, but you know, I try to beat this for him in spirit, but this is none of my business. No, I got things in my own backyard to worry about, so we can get back to the tournament. So I'm gonna let y'all cook, man.
Yeah. So a lot of the boosters and stuff, they wanted Donovan 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be him, bro. If I'm a betting man, I'm betting money on him. But of course, I want Tommy Lloyd though. That's what I want.
I want Tommy Lloyd, but it's gonna be hard. Like I said, Arizona wins a Natty. I just don't see him leaving.
Yeah, Arizona gonna throw him the bag.
Honestly, I think, and this is probably a segue into another topic, but Arizona's good, man. But Michigan's been a buzzsaw.
Michigan is a bad matchup.
They beat the glass slippers off of Tennessee yesterday. I was like, God damn. I'm talking about from when they threw the ball up in the air, it was just took the belt off and just straight BTA action.
Nah, they made Tennessee go get the switch.
I never been so happy to have like other games on, even though the women was whooping somebody's ass too. But I was like, at least I could turn to something else because this shit over here getting ugly. Like I think the UCLA Duke game was on, so I was like, at least I could watch this shit. Cause god damn Michigan, y'all had to do them boys up like that.
Yeah, because like other than Elliot Cadeau, all them dudes are like 6'8" and above, right? In the
something like that.
Yeah, bro. Like they just a bad matchup for anybody left in the tournament, bro. Like bad matchup. Arizona got the best chance. Honestly, Arizona got the best chance.
They cool, but they can't beat Duke for me, man. So fuck them niggas. I don't think about them niggas too much.
Oh wait, Duke beat them earlier this year. Oh
yeah, and DC, yeah.
Yeah, forgot about that.
So it's just funny to see Duke lose in DC because everybody pretty much crowned them after they beat Michigan in DC earlier in the year. Then them niggas turn around, lost in the same arena. Look how that worked.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like Arizona got the best shot.
I just know that game. I just know that game going to be real. Like that's a Titan matchup right there.
Yeah, I mean, one of those two teams. If I was to bet on who the national champion will be, it's probably going to be one of those two teams. It's going to be one of those two teams. Those are the two best teams in the country for real.
Yeah, and I'm sending this question to T. You know, both of them teams got good point guards. You got Cadeau on one side, then you got Bradley on the other side. Like, who you think is going to get the better of that matchup? Because, in my opinion, I think Bradley's been probably the best point guard in this tournament. In my opinion, it's like every time Arizona needs something, he delivers, and he's been like that. And that's why he's the Big 12 Player of the Year, right?
Yeah, he is. I think the combination of Jaden Bradley and Braxton Burries, you know, I think that their guards are going to outplay Michigan's guards. It's the front court is my concern. I don't know like how Koa Pete and the other dude that was dominating against Purdue. I don't know how it's going to be against Lendenborg and those boys.
Yeah, I think Bradley might will probably have the edge over Cadeau, but like you said, Michigan's size is going to be problematic, man. They've just been since they lost in the Big Ten tournament. They just been on a roll, man. Like they've been just mowing through teams, tournament, bro. I don't know. It's gonna be a war though, because Arizona's not gonna back down either, man. So, when we get to the Final Four, these are the matchups we want to see. Upsets are cool and all, but when we get to the Final Four, we want to see the heavyweight fights and stuff, man. And I think it's gonna be a tight game. I'm glad it's the second game on Saturday, prime time. You
Yeah,
know, like UConn, I think Illinois is a good team. They're a 3 seed. They're very worthy of being here, but like I said, they don't. They
They
got a
don't
bunch
jump.
of foreigners and stuff. They just don't move the needle, right? But
Nah,
UConn, Arizona, Michigan being the Final
I do.
Four is a good draw.
Before you go there, I do want to ask this question because we know the Final Four is in Indianapolis, and we have two big teams. So is this going to be these two Final Four? Is this going to be two essential home games for Illinois and Michigan? Because fans can travel, and Indianapolis ain't far from those two areas.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
yeah, I think so. But I mean, I feel like both. I think all four fan bases going to travel period. But yeah,
Okay,
there's gonna be a small edge to Illinois and Michigan for sure. That 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 game is probably going to be a home game for Michigan. Um, yeah, Illinois, but I mean, it could, yeah, it could be an edge for Illinois. This past game was pretty much a home game for Duke, for real.
Yeah.
Um, but
We
I
know
mean,
Duke has a lot of fans of that Northeast corridor.
they
yeah,
do, they do, man. But
I can see the saltiness on certain people's face at work.
yeah, but I mean, I think Illinois and Michigan will have the slight edge, but it won't matter that much for real.
It's all about the real hoopers, right there.
It's really all about the real hoopers for real. I mean, I seen my squad. This was 12 years ago, but we went down to Texas, played the number one overall seed Florida at the time. It was to me like an overrated number one seed,
They
but
were.
we smacked them in Texas, and that was pretty much a home game for Florida. So,
Hmm.
and then and we played Kentucky in the national championship, and and Kentucky had a lot of fans in the arena that night too. So I mean, it matters a little bit. I mean, depending on momentum of the game, but um, it's all going to come down to like what we've talked about: guard play and
Hmm.
coaching and defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping for good hoops, like UConn versus either Michigan or Arizona. That would be a good final championship matchup. We know BT just wants UConn out of there for agendas, and we respect agendas around here.
I
And
honestly respect it. Yeah, I respect
even though it might go against your own, but I think it's going to be a legit Final Four this year. Like T said, I watched a few of those Illinois games. They was worthy of a 3 seed. They was a team that, even though I didn't pick them, I picked Houston to come out of that bracket. It's not that much of a shocker how they got out of this bracket, especially when Iowa knocked off Florida and everything. So that kind of did help open the path for them to get to the Final Four. So, but I mean, I think they're going to give UConn a good game. I just think UConn's just a better team, and I think once they calm down from all the hype that they deserve for beating Duke, Dan Hurley is going to get them back focused, re-engaged, and he's going to have his boys ready for that first game on Saturday.
Yeah, that's actually my biggest concern. The hangover from beating Duke.
I think Dan Hurley's the type of coach, like he's so much of an asshole. He's petting those like y'all some
Nah,
pussies.
yeah, nah.
Y'all some,
He real disrespectful in practice. I know that. I know that for sure. I know not firsthand, but I've heard things. I've heard things about how them practices go.
no lie. When y'all play UCLA and they said that's just the asshole coach bowl, I cried. Cause both Corman and your boy, they both on some other shit, bro. both of them
Nah,
both of them yelling at the players, get the fucking position, and the camera pan to both of them at the same time. Hey, whoever's the cameraman for that night, you to go for that, because that was a great shot of that moment right there.
bruh. Man, Cronin kicked his own player out of the game, bro. Like
He a wild boy.
crazy motherfucker, bro. Oh, just off of like a flagrant one foul, he kicked this dude off.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that. I know it's a flagrant foul and everything, but like T say, like players see things and they resonate with certain things. Yeah, it was a flagrant foul, whatever, but you don't kick him out of the game to try like prove what point were you proving? Like what like this is all about like the love of the game or respecting the game. I mean, shit happens all the time. So the team still got the dub though. So that's all that matter. Like you address that privately when y'all go into the locker room and shit. Just make him run like some extra sprints or some shit. I don't know. If he was an NIL player, dock him some pay. Shit. I don't know. But yeah, he was a wild boy for that moment right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be definitely a good tournament. Watching the elite rest of the Elite Eight for the women's game. Earlier, Texas just smacked Michigan to get into the Final Four. So now I'm watching TCU in South Carolina. TCU looking good so far. But yeah, man, college basketball definitely been a good season. I feel like it's going to be one of those moments. A great season's going to end with a great matchup. So definitely looking forward to the Final Four and the championship game. Definitely going to have our reaction to the championship game. Whoever makes it. If UConn keeps advancing, I'm pretty sure Dave going to go into the booth and drop more ranked corners for you, or he might, or depending how they lose, if they lose, he might drop another ranked corner. We'll see. Dave is really inspired these days. I just say that he's really inspired these days.
Nah, I can wait until our next episode. I can wait because if the men and women both win, oh my god, bro,
It can happen again.
I might have to get some props for that. I might have to order some shit from Indianapolis.
Yeah. But before we get off this, anybody got anything to say? Anything takeaways from basketball? You know, we saw a lot of the draft prospects who Darren had a good game. AJ, even though in the first round, good game. Darius A-Cup raised his draft stock. Definitely looking like a top 5 player. Could go from between 3 to 5 depending on the team. Caleb Wilson, I know unfortunately he couldn't play, but I still think he's a top 5 pick. But yeah, man, anything else y'all want to say, fellas, before we wrap this up?
Hey, my boy Terrence Reed gonna be a serviceable big man in the league, bro. He probably gonna go second round. He gonna be a serviceable big man, dog.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is last year.
I don't know. I won't know until he announced it, and then even then, apparently niggas can go back into the league and play in college. So I don't know what's what anymore. But shout out to him. He's having a good tournament, man. That first game when he almost had like
31 and 27.
Yeah. So
it was against Furman, but still.
I don't care. He set the tone. He set the tone for sure. But yeah, anything else, fellas?
Nah, man, it's been a good tournament though. So I just appreciate the upsets, and then the teams are supposed to winning. It's been a good little tournament. I just wish my dog could have played, because we know he better be up out of there. He better be a top 5 pick, top 4 pick that I see. So, but yeah, it's been a good little tournament though.
Yeah, it's been a good tournament. Hopefully we get a good Final Four. Get into the college season as we transition to the postseason in the pro game, and the hoops don't stop, man.
Yeah, definitely can't wait to talk about these pro hoops. By the time we record, we're gonna be just getting a little bit closer to NBA playoffs. But before we wrap this up, I definitely want to say, hey man, shout out to everyone once again for participating in our bracket challenge. We had a really good turnout. We saw a lot of different scenarios, different picks, So it definitely made it real interesting and fun for these past couple of weekends. Thank you to everyone, all the new subscribers. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. And, thanks for everyone just showing us love, man. I've been getting some feedback lately. They love what we're doing, fellas. We just, I always tell them, we still hungry. We still trying to get out there even more. So we ain't stopping anytime soon. Well, we're gonna keep working at it. But always, we appreciate you. We love y'all. Hey man, this your boy Dre from PG. We got D, Dr. Esquire Day. We got 910's finest BT. And of course, we got the biggest plug in South Gotham, my boy T. This is Assassin 4. We out.